This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you live as it can be from Honolulu, Hawaii. And I'm overlooking the great island of Oahu. Hey, folks, the lead stories are Hurricane Florence is bearing down on the East Coast. Apple's big event on Wednesday and what to expect. Teenagers and addictions to social media and their mental health. Internet service providers and their employees go after the California Governor Jerry Brown over net neutrality. And should voice over IP services be regulated like wired phone services? I want to welcome you to episode 1311 of Geek News Central for Monday, September 10th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Of course, you can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a Geek News Central Insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out for the very first time. Of course, if you're brand new to the show, the most important thing for you to do is just take like a microsecond and go over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you're on the website, all I want you to do is get over there and subscribe to the podcast right on the right-hand column of the website via Apple Podcasts, Android, email, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, you name it. We are where you are. Or you can just come to the website at geeknewscentral.com to check out the show. That's a great way to do it as well. And check out, of course, all the ongoing articles on the website as well that's been produced by my writing team. That's a great way to support the show by visiting on a regular basis. Of course, you want to subscribe to the newsletter while you're there as well. You can watch the show on the Apple TV or via the Roku, via the Tech Podcast channel. You can listen on Blueberry.com, or you can listen on your smart home device by saying the keyword play the podcast, Geek News Central. I do this show live at live.geeknewscentral.com. I'm on Facebook, on YouTube live stream, and hopefully soon, Twitter. We'll see here soon, experimenting with that. Of course, you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. It's a Mastodon chat server. You can come over there and hang out, provide links, just be cool, just be geeky. I'm going to tell you, nothing says you're a geek like hanging out on a Mastodon chat server. And you don't have to just hang out on my chat channel. There's plenty of other podcasters that have chat channels as well. So definitely check me out. Again, geeknews.chat is a place to go for that. And contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter, geeknews. You're following a pattern here. And of course, follow on Facebook. Partner shows include, these are all linked at geeknewscentral.com. The Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Gain, the Pro Gear site, the new media show, Podcast Legends. All those you can be finding in the header at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, if you want to pick up some cool wear, whether it be a t-shirt, jacket, maybe some of us are going to need a raincoat this week, coffee cup. Do people still get mouse pads? At cafepress.com/Ohana store. And of course, this show is sponsored by our good friends over at GoDaddy, the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. And all my deals for GoDaddy are very, very simple. They're easy to find. All you got to do is go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. All the deals are there, whether it be a 30% off a new product purchase, whether it be a 99cent.com, $1 a month economy hosting, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting. Both those deals come with a free domain, $1 a month for the first year, $12 get you going. And really, this is a deal that cannot be beat. Even on anything I've seen on the web, this is the best deal going for GoDaddy hosting accounts. That economy hosting or managed WordPress hosting. Because you're a business owner, 1 month free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. And as a reminder, I told you on the last show, if you use one of my promo codes, save your receipt and email me. And at the end of the month, I'm going to give a cool prize to one of you that used one of my GoDaddy promo codes. All right. Whether it be to pick up a domain, whether it was to pick up a hosting account, you name it. This is what I want you to do. So definitely keep that in mind. I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. Your support is absolutely needed. Tell your friends, family members, people that you know, and link to my page via your Facebook, Twitter, any social media account, your own blog. Link back to my page. It is like an in-kind donation. It really, really is. Anytime you link back to my site from your site or your social media page, it really helps in the long run in keeping my Google ranking up. But definitely thanks everyone here for being an ongoing supporter of GoDaddy for many, many years. Thanks for GoDaddy for their continued support of this show. Okay, so let me just give you guys the rundown here. Trade wins last week, beautiful. At the end of the week, they were fantastic. And now we have it just got downrated from a condition or a Cat 1 hurricane to a tropical storm. The track of it, and we haven't been hit by a direct tropical storm in years. We've had lots of them go by and we've been skirted by them. But right now, the track has the tropical storm going right over the top of Maui. Now, if I'm from my house, if I drive 20 miles and I'm on the east side of Oahu, I can see Maui in the distance. You know, it's not over the horizon. Okay, I can see it, visualize it, and so that tells you the distance between Oahu and Maui. It's not that far. So the storm was originally supposed to go essentially south of Maui, between Maui and the Big Island. Now it's shifted a little bit, and if it shifts a little more, it's going to come right through the channel and split the difference. But they've issued a tropical storm warning for Oahu for Wednesday. We're on now, but we're going to get, it looks like, some rain on Wednesday. And I think that'll be the extent of it. But that's, many of you out on the East Coast, you know, you're facing this massive thing. I'll give you guys, those of you that are watching live, I give you a picture. You probably can't see it real well, but it's basically, I'm the upper blue dot that's on that screen, if you can actually see it. So we'll see. We'll see where this tropical storm goes, but looks like we're going to get some rain. But those of you that are looking at this Cat 4 Florence coming ashore in probably South Carolina, my, oh my, oh my, this is scary. So I know we have many Ohana members out in South Carolina. Batten the hatches down, get in the car, evacuate if they tell you to. Take your important stuff, get your computers backed up. Hopefully you're just taking your laptops with you. Or if you've got an iMac, maybe you put that in the car with the cat and dog. I think I would. So, or your PC, whatever it may be. But we'll be thinking about you throughout the week here, and I'm sure we'll have more to follow up on Thursday. But yeah, lots of weather for all of us. So I'm going to tell you guys something here. On September 1st, unbeknownst to my family, I did 100% cord cut here. 100%. Everything that was left got disconnected. HBO got cut. Hulu got cut. Cinemax got cut. YouTube TV got cut. Everything got cut except Amazon Prime and Netflix. So I've just been quiet about it since the 1st. And the significant savings overall, and there was a couple other little things I was cut around here too. Believe it or not, we still had a landline here, so I cut the landline. What else? A few other things. And I didn't say anything. And then this evening, my son is like, hey, how come we can't get HBO? Hey, how come we can't get Hulu? Hey, how come Cinemax, we can't get that? Hey, where did YouTube TV go? Well, it's been cut since the 1st. So it was 9 days before anyone really realized. So I thought it was kind of ironic, little interior test here. So I've got to get one of those HD TV antennas. Probably going to get that put in the next week or so, but I'm not rushing. But I was kind of curious to see how long it would take everyone to figure it out. Oh, wow. Are we back online? What happened? Huh. All right. What happened? All right, I guess I'm back with a second video. Isn't that weird? Okay. So something happened. I wonder if I bumped the live stream. Okay, so long story short, lots of missing gear. So I don't know. I don't know where it all goes, to be honest with you. It's driving me crazy. All right, so a couple things. I've got some emails back from some folks that are willing to volunteer to help out on the website doing some stuff. So now that I'm kind of breathing again, I'm going to getting some assignments together. Also, it's time to get a new show launched. Kirk indicated he wanted to do a show. So I'm going to get with Kirk this week, and we're going to get him set up so that he can start his own show. And I think that's about... Oh, I tell you what, one thing happened to me too. One last thing. So I told you about this Mac Mini I replaced. And I bought an SSD drive for it. We did the YouTube video, saw how to break it down. I broke it down, no sweat. Within about 20 minutes, had the hard drive out, put back in, everything put back together. No real issues. I had one small trouble with one mini connector, but nothing major. It got all done. Got the Mac Mini hooked back up, plugged it in, and pressed the power button. It went dong, like a Mac would normally do when it's starting up, and that's it. It didn't do anything else. It never come alive. It never showed me because I knew we put a hard drive in it, so I knew I was going to have to restore it, and it just did nothing. I don't know what I busted. I'm going to have to break it apart again, go through, see if I missed something. I'm 99% sure I didn't, but it basically doesn't want to work. So who knows? Maybe there's something that isn't seated right. I didn't have time to mess with it anymore, but yeah, so it's been a fun week with hardware. And maybe on the 12th they're going to announce some new Mac Minis. Who knows? So yes, Dan, something is dying. What is dying? We may not be live for the rest of the night. Keep an eye on this. Something is causing the stream to go down. Don't you hate it when that happens? I do. All right. It says we're good, but it went down again. All right. We'll keep an eye and see what happens here. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get into because most of you are listening anyway. Let's get into the content. Let's keep going here. Refresh this page. Okay. Bada bing. I'm going to have all kinds of like half shows on Facebook. I think that's all I had in my stack. Is that I got everything covered? Yep. So let's get into the content here tonight. Talked quite a bit. So let's talk about Wednesday. iPhone XR, iPhone XS Max, iPad Pros, Max, and more. So here's the rundown on what is expected to be announced. The guy Mark Gurman has a pretty good handle on what's going on with this in the space, and we're pretty much sure that there's going to be, the iPhone XS Max and the iPhone XR. With the XS Max having 6.5-inch display and the iPhone XR having 6.1. That with price point, it's pretty similar. Like $999 for the Max. Probably the XR coming in at like $699, something like that. So we'll see. But that's pretty good idea what we're expecting. But potentially three new iPhones. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, iPhone XS, XS Max, iPhone XR, and again, iPhone 9 might be the rumored. We'll see where this goes. But and again, I don't think they're going to call it the 9. It's going to be XS something, XS XR. But there's also the rumor that there could be a fourth sort of a new iPhone called the iPhone SE, which would be a lower end version. Of course, the Apple Watch 4, fully expecting that. We're expecting a new iPad Pro. I'm not due for an iPad update right now, but this rumor's been around. Pencil support. I've got a pencil for my larger iPad Pro, and I've used it like a few times. The pencil for me is pretty much useless. I have to charge it because I forget about it, and when I need it, it's not charged. But potentially some new Macs and MacBooks. And we know that we already got a 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Pro this past July, but it looks like we may get a MacBook Air. Potentially, maybe some new iMacs equipped with Intel's 8th generation processor. More than likely, a new Mac Mini, possibly with configurations targeted to our users that are on the Pro side, which could be good. Now, the iMac Mini has not been updated since 2014. In all honesty, and some of the things I'm thinking about doing and some stuff I'm doing here, I would like to replace one more Mac Mini this year. And if they have this higher performance one, that's something I'd look at. More than likely, no updates to the iMac Pro. They've already said that's not going to come in 2019. Also, some sources are saying a higher end version of the AirPods. I'll be honest with you, the AirPods, in my opinion, after using them now for 8 months and actually not losing any, is that they have by far the best noise cancellation in existence. I was probably 2 months ago, I was over on Marine Corps Base Hawaii and near the airfield, and there was some F-18 that were starting up on the line, and I was on my AirPods, and the person couldn't hear the jet starting. I was amazed on how much isolation those have. I use them in the car. People can't tell I'm driving. It's really, I spend a lot of time in the car driving my kid around. So I'm a true bull. If I lost an AirPod today, I'd immediately order another one immediately. So that tells you how much and they're expensive, but they're great. They really are great. Of course, we're going to see iOS 12, Mac OS Mojave is on the line. Maybe some Apple streaming services potentially. Apple has nabbed some big names like Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg, among others. They've hired some top television executives, spearhead an effort, and the company has deployed $1 billion budget in the last year to recruit projects. So we'll see what happens there. We may see and the AirPower, a wireless charging pad. We may see an update to the HomePod, maybe even a less expensive one. You guys know I've got a HomePod. it rarely gets used. It's largely my kids use Amazon devices almost exclusively. And what's funny is when I use the HomePod and play music on it, it gets everyone's attention. It sounds so incredible. It really, really does. But it doesn't get used that much. The Apple TV, I use the Apple TV the most in the house for movies. I'm a $2.99, the dollar deals. I'm in the music store buying movies that are, $1 or $5 or something, some classics and stuff that no one besides myself will watch. So that's about what I use it for. The Apple TV is for movies that I buy. And again, not not $14.99 ones, the cheap ones that are on sale. They have some good deals sometimes. They really do. And I like watching movies on the Apple TV. I think the quality is really good when you buy them, when you actually buy the digital version. So that's kind of the rundown of what we're expecting on Wednesday. So we'll see. Are you going to watch live? I think a lot of people will. Also, what are you going to do with your old devices? I've got some stuff laying around. As a matter of fact, I got asking this afternoon. I've got an first generation, I think, iPad Pro. And I'm like, where's that iPad? And I'm sure, again, it's in one of the kids' rooms. So I did find my iPad in case it was up on the network, and it wasn't. So either someone's got me signed out or who knows, but it's here. I just, too much stuff. But sell your stuff. Get rid of it before it becomes extinct. Or sell it. Or jailbreak it. Some of the stuff you can jailbreak, use as a backup. Some people use their old phones as security cameras. Some folks use old iPads and stuff for art, or you can break stuff down. Probably this is the one thing I thought was really, really cool. Was someone took a number of older iPhones and they embedded them in some sort of acrylic. I thought this was beautiful. And I was going through all the older devices I've got. Some of the stuff had been thrown in drawers. And I said, no. Let me have those and put them in the case back here. Because I've got a number of the generation of phones. And probably now, if you want to get every generation of phone, you could probably go on eBay and pick some of these more recent ones up cheaper. You're going to probably pay a pretty penny for like an iPhone 1. But, from an art display, some of the stuff might be kind of cool. You take some of this electronics that you're never going to sell and do some kind of cool stuff like that. I thought that was the neatest idea on some of these older devices. Okay, bada bing, bada boom here. Let's move on. Let's talk about teenagers addicted to social media. And this is a NBC News article. I think this is the first time, I can't remember the last time we actually talked about NBC News. Matter of fact, if Kirk hadn't found it, I probably wouldn't have covered it because I don't normally ever look on any of those news sites for articles. But this is kind of scary. And it's a survey that was done by Common Sense Media. Most American teenagers are constantly using social media and half admit that it distracts them from looking up and talking to people right in front of them. I think we've all seen this, right? Even when they're together. More teens say they prefer texting to talking to other people in person, and they admit smartphone apps are waking them up at night and distracting them from homework. Well, on the iPhone, parents that set those hours of do not disturb is very, very important. Should be not a surprise, anyone that knows a teenager, but the survey also shows that teens are very much aware of the pitfall of the social media use. They said that they suspect that social media companies are trying to manipulate them, and they deny that their constant use of Instagram, Snapchat, and other apps is making them lonely. So let me read that again. They suspect that social media companies are trying to manipulate them, and they deny that their constant use of Instagram, Snapchat, or other apps is making them lonely, which is interesting. It's kind of they say that social media companies are trying to manipulate them, but yet they deny. Social media has transferred adolescence in the lives of millions and millions of teens. Teens have even told them in this study that they are distracted from their friends, from their homework, and from sleep. And a lot of teens feel addicted to social media. Well, just like their parents, right? They interviewed 1,100 teenagers from 13 to 17. They did say that teenagers are not mindless slaves to their smartphones. Teens are often depicted as being heedless of the consequences of spending so much time on their smartphones. In reality, reveals that teenagers are fully aware of the power of the devices to distract them from key priorities such as homework, sleep, and time with friends and family. More than 57% of social media distracts them from doing homework, and 54% admitted that they sometimes ignored people they were with to pay attention to social media, and 29% said a text or other notification had woken them up at night. 44% said they get frustrated with their friends for being on their phone so much when they're hanging out together. He says there's no doubt that mobile devices dominate the lives. More than 80% of teenagers surveyed said they use social media. That's no more in 2012, but now 70% say they're using social media multiple times a day compared with just a third in 2012. Nearly 3 out of 4 teenagers, 72%, believe that tech companies manipulate users to spend more time on their devices. I think this is true. This is concerning. And I think as a parent who has a soon-to-be 15-year-old on social media, and my restrictions of his use of phone in the early evening hours is part of the reasons why his grades are doing very, very well, as compared to having a little looser policy with him last year. I saw it as a problem, and we cracked down. And he also knows that grades are dependent upon some privileges too. So that has helped a little bit of a motivating factor. But in the car, I often now will question him. What are you doing? What are you watching? What are you looking at? You see your phone, flip through the apps, turn the apps on, load them, do a cursory look. And most of it is teenager silliness stuff. Haven't found anything concerning yet. Probably most of that would be hid anyway, as best he could. But because I use an iPhone, I know where to go look and where to go dig around. And he doesn't like it, but he knows that, he has to give the phone on demand and unlock it for me, and I take a peek. So, what are you guys finding with your kids these days with social media? Are you concerned? Is it contributing to any mental health issues, anger issues, anything like that? Love to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. I tell you what happens. If I take his phone away and he gets angry, instant longer, I'm going to hold it. And he has learned that if I say, give me your phone, and if he doesn't hand it over without giving me gruff, because usually I'm going to grab it and I'll hold on to it for a couple hours, but he gives me a gruff, well, maybe you'll get it back next week. And a kid without their phone these days, it's a powerful thing. It's not the keys to the car anymore. It's give me your phone. All right, let's switch topics here. Last week, we noted that California managed to shake off ISP lobbyists and basically pass this new net neutrality rules. The rules largely mirror the FCC's discarded 2015 rules in that they prohibit throttling or blocking services that compete with ISP monopolies. And of course, the rules go a bit deeper, and we talked about how deep they go. But with the California Senate having passed the law, it still has been signed by the California governor. And ISPs now are making a last 0-hour push to encourage Brown to veto the bill, with activists telling the CTIA, which is the wireless industry's top lobbying organization, Comcast and AT&T all met with Brown in his office last Tuesday. Others ISPs like Frontier Communication have taken to urging their employees to demand Brown veto the bill. And as is usually the case, their arguments aren't exactly what you'd call what I consider fact-based. And some of the stuff that they're telling their employees is a little bit scary. Well, not scary. It's kind of outright wrong. The email noted that employees' participation is voluntary. It contains one claim that the bill would somehow create free internet for big users like Netflix and Google. Well, Google already uses a lot of their own fiber and has peering arrangements, as does Netflix, with the CDNs and the big carriers that move stuff around. So they're already paying that bill, unlike what they're trying to imply here. But you can tell here a lot of pressure on this California bill. And with the bill banning, blocking, throttling, and more, it's basically the bill that went through the federal, they got struck down or got removed. Well, it was never fully enacted, actually. It got passed. It wasn't fully employed. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes and how it affects California and the internet, considering all the companies that are out there doing business in California. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting if all of a sudden with this new net neutrality stuff that all those companies out in California started leaving and we're going to other states where there weren't so restrictive net neutrality rules? Do you think that'll happen? Do you think anybody will give up Silicon Valley because of this? I'm doubtful. Ars Technica is saying that Ajit Pai helped Charter kill consumer protection rules in Minnesota by saying the state can't regulate voice IP phones. Well, let's really think about that for a second. What is a voice IP phone? It is a phone that is IP based. It doesn't use a copper wire coming in from your cable provider. So it's really a data service, right? So a new court ruling found that Minnesota's state government cannot regulate voice IP phone services offered by Charter and other cable companies because voice IP, VoIP, is an information service under federal law. Pai argues that the case is consistent with FCC's attempt to preempt state-level net neutrality rules in which the commission reclassified broadband as a Title I information service instead of a Title II telecommunications service. The ruling issued Friday by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Eighth Circuit following a lawsuit filed by Charter against Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. A 3-judge panel ruled against Minnesota in a 2-1 vote. The FCC filed a brief supporting the Charter's position in the case. So voice IP is, although it is a telecommunication service, it is really done so via IP, making it, as they're ruling, an information service. So what do you think about that? That the state cannot regulate voice IP? Do you think that's a good thing? Personally, I think it makes sense because it's truly not a digital, it is truly an IP product in a digital world, not connected to a copper wire. Firefox today called it quits on antiquated Windows XP and Vista. Mozilla's entered browser security updates for those versions. And only the top 5 browsers still support Windows XP is Opera. So Mozilla shut down, again, security updates for Windows XP. Is anyone that listens to this show still on Windows XP? Are you? Love to hear from you if you are. All right, Europe's top judge to hear right to be forgotten cases. Now, this is very interesting here. Europe's top judges in the EU are being asked to decide the limits of the rights to be forgotten, a person's ability to man the internet search engines, hide incorrect, out of date, or potentially embarrassing information about them. In a grand chamber of 15 judges, the European Court of Justice will on Tuesday consider two cases involving Google. One on the type of information that should be delisted from its index after search for someone's name, and the other on whether such a delisting, if agreed to, should apply to the entire world. This ruling will not only affect Google, but all other search engines such as Yahoo, Microsoft Bing, and is likely to have implications for social and social media platforms. So, you live in Europe under the EU, and someone publishes something naughty about you. You have the ability to go and have that data removed so it's no longer accessible, be able to be found. Interesting. It really, really is if you think about it. One of the individuals that asked for information to be removed was an article on suicide of a member of the Church of Scientology, and that they wanted that information stripped. Another involved articles about criminal proceedings and conviction for a child sex abuse case. So these changes would give people that have likely done some things wrong carte blanche ability to use privacy laws to hide information from the public. It could be used to hide politicians' political views or public figure criminal record. Google says enforcing the right to be forgotten in every country would encourage other countries, including less democratic regimes, to try to impose their values on citizens. The case was originally brought in France Data Protection Authority, which fined Google 100 million euros, I guess, in 2016 for failing to delist search results across all of its global domains, including google.com. So what do you think? Do you think that the folks in the EU should have the right to have their stuff removed? I don't know how I feel about that. Digiday. Facebook has introduced a new brand safety measure, but advertiser says it doesn't go far enough. Facebook is giving advertisers visibility in which publishers their ads might appear on as part of a wider push for brand safety. According to an announcement being made, advertisers can now see where their ads might appear on in-stream videos, including those in watch and instant articles, before, during, or after the campaign. But all the folks are basically saying where they only allow advertisers to block publishers they're aware of, which means their ads could still appear against unsuitable content from publishers they don't know about. So they want more control. Facebook doesn't want to get more control because that means those ads can run more places. All right, so I'm going to ask all of you to help me out. Those of you who've had your cord cut for a while and have a HD antenna on your TV, are you guys using any type of DVR to record anything that you get over your HD TV antenna? Something like the Tabla? Tableau? Have you guys heard about this? It's a dual over-the-air DVR. It's right now on sale on Amazon for $100. Again, it's called the Tableau, Tablo. Any of you using one of these to get some DVR functionality out of your HD TV? Is there enough content to even make it worthwhile? India has unveiled its own space suit design for its 2022 astronaut flights. So they've revealed what it's going to look like. Did they have a real person in it or a mannequin? It looks like they had a mannequin in it. And sure's got a lot of hoses on it. Apple Music versus Spotify. Which music service is best for you? well, my kids don't have no choice here. I've got the Apple Music family plan, and they get Apple Music. I don't pay for Spotify. I only pay for Apple Music at this point. So you have up to 6 people on the Apple Music account. So it's $14.99, I think, a month for the family plan. So that's what I've been using. I'd be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Spotify interface per se. I guess if I'm going to listen to it, I'll listen to the ad version. The one that's got ads in it. But, I mean, what do you guys prefer? Apple Music or Spotify? Love to hear comments on why. Good article on Android Central about Google Assistant. And there's a lot of stuff going on with Google Assistant. And just cover some of the new stuff that's happening, some new games, some new solutions, different ways you can use it now. I haven't used Google Assistant at all. What are you guys using it for? Are you guys using it for Internet of Things, that type of stuff? Love to hear how you're using Google Assistant. I just don't. Of course, I use Siri. And to be honest with you, something happened to Apple's voice to text. It's gotten worse. And I'm always frustrated with trying to do text messages with the iPhone. The Android has no problem with voice to text, but the Apple, it's fell way behind. Anyone got an alternate solution? But anyway, I have this link up to Google Assistant in the show notes. Also, you're tired of getting those chat app notifications, or you're getting pop-ups, like from WhatsApp and a variety of different devices. You can turn all those notifications off. As soon as I get dinged about 5 times from the same app, I'm digging into settings. So there's a way to shut down WhatsApp, Telegram. You can basically stop those pop-up. Facebook Messenger, oh my God, that one's the worst. If you don't want to see those on-screen notifications, there's plenty of ways to shut those down. Of course, I've got good instructions here in the show notes for you for both iOS and Android. Don't worry, it shows you where to go make those setting changes and get that updated so you don't get dinged all the time. I run a WordPress site internally here in the house. I run it on my Synology network attached storage service, and it's pretty slick. And it's a way for me to if I do technical notes, and it's just ways for me to kind of keep some stuff I want to remember long term that I'm not keeping in a notepad or a diary or something. But you can run WordPress on a Raspberry Pi. So they got a good article on how to do this, how to set up your own Raspberry Pi, how to set up Apache server, how to get this all going, installing PHP as well. So step-by-step instructions on how to make this happen. But yeah, you can set up MySQL and everything and have your own internal WordPress site running on a Raspberry Pi. Now, I don't know if I'd put anything like this on the web. If you do, be very, very careful about it. But you can host a website locally on your own network. And, of course, you can do it on the web if you want. You wouldn't want too much traffic on that website. But something you possibly could do with a Raspberry Pi is a good weekend project. All right, T-Mobile is announcing some improved LTE coverage across 36 states and Puerto Rico. The carrier says its 600 megahertz extended range LTE network also lays the foundation for nationwide 5G. Let me see, did they tell where they're launching this? Okay. Where are you launching these improvements on T-Mobile? Does it list the actual areas? There's not a list beyond Puerto Rico. It just brings up a big map. Let me see where we're at here for Hawaii. Let me go at H, I, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Oh, there's none. We've been left out. Nothing here for Hawaii, but there is a list. Anyway, it's 2 links away in the article. I'll have it head up in the show notes for you to check out. But if you're interested in that, did I close it? No, I didn't. All right, there's an iPhone cheat sheet, every iOS shortcut you should know about. Some of these I did not know about it. Some things that you can do if you still have 3D touch, and some different swipes that you can do. I have these all linked up in the show notes here, but save you a little time. Nearly a third of U.S. consumers now own a smart speaker. Voice assistant usage is up, driven most by smart speakers. So, again, big increases here. Voice assistants such as Alexa, Cortana, Google Assistant, Siri, all becoming a bigger picture of our lives. And this survey really shows a big uptick. Well, maybe have more than one smart home devices in your house. If you're listening to this show, I'm almost guaranteed you got at least one. Our numbers haven't really went up here per se, but still 3 Alexa devices in the house. That said, Amazon is selling the awesome Ring Video Doorbell version 2 for $160. That's the lowest price yet. Normally it's $199. That's a deal you can get out there. If you're looking for that, that's a $39 savings. We just saved you here. The new Google Pixelbook leak shows a smaller bezel, possible detachable keyboard. So some leaks are being out on the street. Of course, we expect an announcement from Google soon on this anyway. So take a peek if you're a Google Pixelbook fan. As well as there's some trade-in deals. So where you can trade some phones in, you can get some bonuses on trade-ins ahead of the iPhone XS and XR or XC or whatever they call these new versions of iPhones. If you're looking to get an upgrade, it's time to sell. Now here's the deal right now. So for an iPhone 7, you can get $295, iPhone 7 Plus up to $355, iPhone 8 up to $345, an iPhone 8 Plus up to $485, and an Apple iPhone X up to $575. Now, of course, that's with some with them in good working order. Now, if you want to trade in an iPad, some iPad trade-ins, if you want to trade in an iPad Pro, Wi-Fi and cellular, you can get up to $430, between $430 and $500, depending on the amount of memory you have on it. And of course, much lower prices for like the iPad Mini and iPad Air and stuff like that you can trade in. And still a lot of stuff over $100 to be able to, all the way down to iPhone 6, getting $160. And of course, Apple Watch you can trade in as well. You can trade in a Series 3 up to $160, or even $180. The stainless up to $220. So there's some deals out there. If you want to trade in some gear, AppleInsider.com has a list. There's a promo code for them as well. Don't want an iPhone? Ready to make the switch to Android? There's some deals out there. And I'll have a link up in the show notes and some phones you can take a look at. I'm telling you, I'm pretty happy with this Samsung Galaxy S8. I do like it. I like it a lot. And, that's a gen down. Also, there's some iPhone 8 deals out there right now, and in a good time, right, to save some money. If you want to finance them, you can do so, or you can buy them up front. There's some discounts out there. Also, how many of you have headlights that don't look so good? They get a little glaze on them. Got a home deal for you. Kinja Deals has a deal for you. It's called New Lens. Make that headlight lamp clear again. Also, Alexa, we got a $180 RoboVac. Oh, sorry about launching a device. Yes, I'm sorry. I keyworded everyone there. But anyway, ask Alexa to start the $180 RoboVac while you watch some football. You don't want this running while you're watching football. You want it to run when you're not home. So it's called the D-Bot from RoboVac. And I tell you what, I love my Roomba. There's a new Samsung Smart Things tracker. It uses LTE to find your misplaced items. Of course, they're not cheap. I'd love to have one of these on a lot of my devices, but they cost $5 a piece to track. So maybe put this on luggage or something to that effect. And it basically you tie this to a an item that you want to. You pay $5 a month. It's tied to LTE, and it tells you where the little sensor is at all times. They're pretty slick. Also, Apple Pay is now available in 10,000 plus US 7-Eleven stores. So if you go into 7-Eleven, make sure you pay by Apple Pay. There's a new drone company that is just come out of basically being secret. They've had a significant influx of cash, and they say they have a drone that it's commercially available, $7,500. That's going to fly. What did it say? How many hours? For like 3 hours. It's pretty impressive, but at a pretty impressive price tag. So for those of you drone enthusiasts it's a company called Impossible Aerospace, and link will be up in the show notes for you to check on that. But a 3-hour flight time is incredibly large. All right, let me go to my email because I know some stuff has come in. And let's see here. I want to thank Ron. I talked about my koi pond pump, right, being rusted. And Ron sent me an email. And he says, "Hey, Todd, being Ohio is the rust capital of the universe." Dude, no. Hawaii is the rust capital of the universe, where everything is inundated with red dirt and salt air. It's horrible. But anyway, he recommended to me a deruster. And so I won college and I went to CarQuest, and it's called Blaster. And Blaster PB penetrating catalyst. And let me tell you, it really busts loose the rust. But that rust must have been so deep in those bolts that I actually snapped. I snapped the bolt head, Ron. I mean, we've done everything we could. So I'm at a point. I ordered a new pump today. $665. Yes. I just don't have, if I was home in Michigan and had my dad's machine shop, this would have been like, I'd have got a blowtorch out and heated the derusted, then heated the bolts up. They would have come out. But I'm just dealing with, I don't have a lot of shop tools. And yes, even my neighbor, who has a few more tools than me, we did this thing. I'm going to just see who can break this thing loose. And then when we do, we'll have an extra pump. But I just couldn't wait no longer. I got an email from Jack. He said, Todd and show 1310 you reported YouTube and Netflix have been slowed. The link you provided was an OS News blog post. The author of the post reported in 2 short paragraphs where the study came from and the app that used to gather data. The author of the post makes a one sentence claiming it was due to loss of net neutrality, which was not mentioned in the post. This post links to a Bloomberg article that reports that 100,000 downloads of the WeHeat apps were used to gather the data for the article, which I did know. And I think it was also mentioned in the same piece. The article reports throttling was happening well before the FCC stopped enforcing net neutrality. The WeHeat app included more than 500,000 tests involving more than 2,000 ISPs worldwide. The data does not support the claim that this is content throttling. A research program with over 500,000 tests found throttling by carriers 8,298 times by AT&T, 3,900 times by T-Mobile, and 339 by Sprint is approximately 2.5%. That number should be closer to 90% if they were throttling content. This appears to be more like traffic management since this is a wireless-only study. Also, the Bloomberg article does not link to the study. It appears that both the author of the Bloomberg article and OS News post have a conclusion they want to push instead of looking at the data. Your ghost producer. Yes, Jack, thank you for your feedback. I think, though, in all honesty, okay, so let's say it was it was because of a network issues or traffic management. If we can prove that one type of data is still going fast and another isn't, then I think we have more conclusive proof. I think I think we have to watch and see what happens. But if they can prove that data from one partner is coming in quick and data from another partner is slower, that they're prioritizing traffic, and that, in my opinion, is a big concern. So we'll see where this goes over time. But Jack, thanks for your input, my friend, and hope to see you the next time I get into to Texas. Hope I have time. We can grab dinner or something. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap me here for the show, geeknews@gmail.com. I know that the live stream was on and off a couple of times tonight, and I've got like 3 videos on my Facebook page, and I'll probably clear those all off and just upload a new final version. But I don't know what happened there. If I bumped the stream or something, who knows? But anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys are listening via the podcast, right? Okay. It's been my pleasure bringing the show. Thank you for being tuned in. Please continue to support a sponsor of the show. And more importantly, time to become an insider. geeknewscentral.com/insider. Get over there. Start your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 subscription or donation per month. I guess it isn't a subscription, but it's basically like a subscription. It automatically pulls on your anniversary date. An ongoing contribution to the show helps out a great deal, a great deal. And if you notice, I've been pushing this more for a reason. I want to build this base of listener support, and hopefully we'll be able to have some new offers for you as well that you can help us with. And so let me ask a question before I'm out of here. What's something that you buy on a regular basis online that if you knew I provided an affiliate link to, you would use instead of going direct to the site you buy stuff from? If I had the ability for you to buy stuff on Amazon using an Amazon link, would you do that? It's really hard to lock in globally. I have to have specific types of products and services I make available to all of you. But if there's something you buy on a reoccurring basis online, let me know, because that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Because in all honesty, if I could set up a big enough shopping cart area where there's stuff that you buy monthly or maybe quarterly that you reorder on a regular basis, those are the type of things that if you use the link through my website, helps the show have long-term sustainability. And you basically don't have to make a contribution. You just buy your products or service through a link or through a product page on geeknewscentral.com. What type of stuff would that be? Would it be airline tickets? Would it be rental cars, hotel rooms? What are those things? And that you would say, Todd's got that. I'm going to go over there, click on the link to make sure that I help support the show. What would that be for you? geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being part of the HANA, being part of the family. Again, thanks for supporting the sponsor, and thanks for all of you that have become insiders. All right, we'll see you back here on Thursday. Everyone take care. Be good. Aloha.